look at the early vocabularies of children that have, say, 50 or fewer words, they're heavily concentrated on different experiences. The child has some names for people or food, body parts, clothing, animals, household items, and in general, basically a lot of nouns, a lot of things, right? This is a noun bias. And Word Bank is this fabulous open database of children's vocabulary development across lots of different languages. And they looked at like tens of thousands of children in multiple language, confirming that there is, quote unquote, an overrepresentation of nouns, right? Got a noun bias in early vocabularies. And, the question is, okay, what's going on? So adults and older children, of course, have much more variety. They have abstract nouns like idea or things that don't exist like unicorn, as well as other syntactic categories like prepositions, from, or determiners like the and and adjectives or properties like silly. So why might there be a preponderance and overrepresentation of nouns in very early vocabularies? And one idea that these guys put forth is it's due to a shared core of concepts that are perhaps especially important for communication independent of their linguistic realization of the language, right? There are certain semantic categories, there are certain conceptual things that are really common in children's earliest language experience, and so there's some sort of essential meaning, and they're learned earlier, and that happens to, in general, be nouny things. It's possible, but a question is why nouns instead of other word types that seem like they might be important for communication? So verbs like that denote actions like eat or help or give or want or go, right? And, so another idea is that in some sense the meaning of nouns is easier to identify than the meaning of other words like verbs, right? So if you look at all of these and they're like, hey, it's a kitty, you might have a sense of what's in common across these things. There's some sort of creature, and it seems to be the focal point of these pictures. Versus you look at two events of give, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a present, there are people. What does give refer to? It's maybe a little bit more abstract, a little harder to figure out.